Auburn faces another major test hosting Georgia tomorrow.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. We're dapping it up with the Darrell Dapprich, Montgomery radio legend, hanging out with us today. What Auburn's doing on defense is insane. We'll talk about exactly what that is and how it impacts tomorrow's action. But let's just get into the nitty gritty of this, Darrell. Our picks and predictions. And normally I like to kind of throw my pick out there and refer back to it throughout the week. And then Friday I adjust it as I see fit. And this one I've almost stalled. I've hated like the fact that we've got to pick this game because there are so many different directions that this can go. But I'm anticipating low scoring on both sides of the ball. And I think it's going to be a close one. And it might look similar to how it did a few years ago. Honestly, the first time Hugh hosted the Georgia Bulldogs. But I'm going to go 17-14, sadly in favor of the visiting team.
Yeah, I like that point spread. Let me just say this is very weird week for me picking this game. There are times that I will pick Auburn, but the game scares me. Like, I'm like, gosh, I just don't have a good feeling about this game, and I'll still pick Auburn. Zac, I'm the opposite of that this week.
Okay.
I agree with what you and Brad Law talked about on Village Vice, that all these things are lining up, and I can't shake that. I can't shake the feeling
I'm
of
with
like,
you.
I feel like I did. I'm just being honest with how I felt before Texas A&M last year. Auburn wasn't playing particularly well. They only had one conference win against Kentucky. And I just had this feeling, night game, Jordan-Hare, something special was going to happen. And, of course, Auburn comes out like gang. But I'm telling you, there's this growing swell inside of me that just cannot stop, like deny it. It's like I can't quit thinking about it. It just keeps
I'm with you,
adding up.
man. I think there's a lot of reasons why Auburn can win this game because, like, I think it's okay if we say it. I don't think it's okay if the head coach says it. But like Auburn has been so close for so long, and if the offense is just serviceable, not good or great, if it's serviceable and the defense holds serve with what we think it can do, they have a shot. And if Auburn chooses to not, if they want to get out of their own way in this, they can absolutely win it. Jordan-Hare at home, Cam Newton retirement night, like Auburn can absolutely win this game. I want to pick Auburn in this so bad, but with what we've seen so far this season, I can't do it. To all of you that tune in every day, that seek out our opinions on this. Like, I don't think I can trust this offense right now. But as you're saying, I've got this weird feeling that Auburn will win. But officially, I don't know how much of that is emotional. I don't know how much of that is the bug. I don't know how much of that is wishful thinking, because we had a similar conversation as you talk about how you felt again, going into the A&M game last year. You and I also said the exact same thing to each other the morning of Oklahoma last year. And Auburn had it won, and then something happened. And that's kind of been the story of the Hugh Freeze era at Auburn, is you've got it in your sights, and you don't quite do enough, or the other team does more, or something slips through the cracks, or you get in your own way. And it's just at the point now where, like, unless something changes, which it absolutely can. But until it changes, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can pick Auburn this weekend.
Well, thanks for filling in the rest of my narrative and filling in the blanks for me.
I'm so sorry.
You just said
I just word vomited.
No. I don't mean that. I'm saying you like read my mind again. You did
I got you.
So what? And what I cannot agree with you more.
Yeah.
Everything is telling me to pick Auburn, to pick Auburn, to pick Auburn, just like sometimes things tell me don't pick Auburn. But despite that, I am in such a mode of you've got to show me first. Just show me one time. Just that one time get over the hump. Just that one time win that close game. I know they did that against A&M last year, so I can't really say that. That's not fair. But the Georgia rivalry has been so dominated by Georgia. I feel like it's due. It lines up with the night game, the Cam Newton, the off week. So all that tells me and screams at me, pick Auburn, but I can't do it because I have PTSD from them losing these close games. And this isn't reverse psychology. And my God, I hope I'm wrong. And
I want to be wrong so bad.
Welcoming
so bad.
Everybody out there watching this and listening to this that gets mad that I'm picking Auburn to lose to come at me hard Saturday night if they don't, and tag me and say, you idiot, you were wrong. See, you had no faith. I will lap that up like a waterfall in Hawaii and be so excited about it.
What a great situation that would be.
23-20 Georgia is my prediction.
23-20, and I've got 17-14. Yeah, the line on FanDuel right now, which is stayed steady at 3.5. Darrell, over under 46.5. So we both have the under hitting. So take that for what it's worth. There's so much on the line here. I mean, Georgia's kind of fighting to stay, relevant in the top of the world of college football, which typically when they are in that spot, it's when they play their best football, which is a tad concerning under Kirby Smart. And then Auburn's in a situation where if you win tomorrow, it changes how everyone talks about you. And that's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at DoorDash. Darrell, it's almost the weekend. It's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players deliver when it matters most. Let's break it down. Obviously, Auburn was on a bye week this week, but I just think the overall chatter around the offensive line, I'll throw Connor Lew out there as far as who delivered. He showed up on a few mock drafts in the first round this week. So I'll say Connor Lew delivered. You got a name? I kind of threw this on you last second.
No, that's fine. Jeremiah Cobb.
Of course.
I mean,
great. I love it.
Look where he's at in statistics in the top, 6 in rushing, and how little he's gotten the ball the last 2 weeks. I mean, that speaks volumes.
Crazy.
He would be, if he just got the ball 15, 16 times against Oklahoma and 15 or 16 times against A&M, I'm being conservative to say he'd be top 3 rusher in the SEC.
Get him the football. Come on. And just like Connor Lew and Jeremiah Cobb deliver for the Auburn Tigers, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash Streaks. You can save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season long. You can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November 18th. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. We just mentioned the line. Auburn 3.5-point dogs. If you're saying, guys, Auburn's got this, go get them. Auburn plus 3.5 has been a very popular bet this week on FanDuel. Or if you think it's going to be higher scoring than 46.5, go bet the over. Or you can agree with me and Darrell and bet the under. Whatever you want, head over to FanDuel right now. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com today to get started. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single.
Can I say something real quick before we jump in?
You can say whatever you want. Absolutely.
The FanDuel thing scares me. Because when it comes to Auburn,
the 3.5, they're spot on.
They have been spot on like all year, other than them overachieving the Baylor. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even South Alabama, I think kind of receded back a little bit.
Well, they kept the odds up for you to be able to wager on win totals through last weekend. So once last week started, Auburn was on bye. They pulled those, but the odds for Auburn 7.5 stayed. They stayed the same according to FanDuel.
Then I'm not scared. I'm encouraged.
They are begging you to take Georgia. They're begging you.
Yeah.
I saw a stat like 96% of the money is on Georgia.
Wow.
That should make you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like all the small bets are on Auburn and then the big money is on Georgia. Like, when has it ever been like that? Where like, oh yeah, we outsmarted Vegas. They took this line off for some reason.
The Bellagio is a palace for a reason, and it ain't because people outsmart Vegas.
Yeah. So I think the line should encourage you, Darrell. I think it should fire you up.
Yeah, it does what you just said. Well, I only just say that because they have been so spot on, and Auburn's lost by 6, by 7, and that's been the line. But the 7.5 means that Auburn would have to win some games here down the stretch, even if they lost to Georgia. They'd have to win at least 3, perhaps 4 more, which wouldn't be such a bad thing.
But once again, though, and this changes how you win. This changes all of this, because if they win tomorrow, I had Auburn going 8-4 this year. You had them going 9-3. I think you've pivoted on that, but still, for the sake of conversation, either option, 8-4 or 9-3. We both made those discussions and those arguments with them losing these 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
And so if they're able to win tomorrow, I think it changes everything for Auburn. Let's talk about it in 2 specific ways. One is the last 2 weeks. I think everything Hugh Freeze says about them being close and being close losses, I think people say, well, they did go on the road 2 weeks in a row, top 10 teams. And like they maybe probably should have won Oklahoma. And then, well, Texas A&M was super close, and it came down to it. And then they beat Georgia at home. Like, maybe they are good. Hey, they've got Missouri coming in town. Let's see what happens. Then on the other side of it is, if you can beat Georgia at home, you could beat Missouri at home. You could beat Arkansas on the road. You could beat Vanderbilt on the road. You could beat Kentucky at home. You can beat Mercer. And then all of a sudden it gets interesting when Alabama comes to town. I mean, it would change everything, both as far as the rest of the schedule and retroactively, if you win tomorrow.
Absolutely. It does justify the narrative that Auburn was close, because people will say, well, like you said, oh, the Oklahoma game should have been a win, and now you beat Georgia. That should have been 2 or 3. Don't underestimate the fact, too, that out of those 3, the ones that Auburn fans would want the most is Georgia. It would. If you said you have to go 1-2 in these 3 games, which one do you want? Oh, I want the Georgia game, who has owned us, who we've sent a Father's Day card to every Father's Day because they've been our daddy for the last 10, 15 years.
Oh, it puts so much to bed. The streak dies.
The streak dies. Awesome. You beat a rival.
And then Hugh Freeze finally beat one of them.
Yeah.
Finally beat one of the big rivals. And I think that would carry some water for sure.
Don't underestimate who it is that you would be beating too, because of the rivalry and, like you said, the streak and all that. So you would take that over the other 2 all day, especially that it's at home, especially it's the Cam Newton retirement. So that completely flips the mindset. You go from being disappointed, being in the season, to just having hope. And then that carries over and becomes sustainable when you play Missouri the next week. And then, so yes, it's a swing game unlike no other, that Auburn, if they find a way to win it, I don't even care if it's ugly. And I know you've talked about uglying it up. Win the game, stop the streak. And look, it's there. It's gettable. At some point, it's got to stop. And so it's like, it needs to end. And this is the year that Auburn has the personnel, the roster. Look, we can talk about all we want about Georgia, and they beat Tennessee, and Tennessee could have won that game.
Correct.
That's the same Tennessee team that struggled in Starkville. Georgia did not look good against Austin Peay, and then they lost to Alabama. So it's not like it's there. It's there if you do what you're supposed to do, in my opinion. But again, I want to see it first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does change the narrative. It completely changes the narrative.
It could.
Yeah.
It could change everything.
Yep.
it could change everything. We said the same thing going to Texas A&M last game, where if you beat Texas A&M, it changes how the Oklahoma loss looks. This does the same thing. And Hugh Freeze can get at the podium and say, this is huge. This is what we needed. We're not done. We control our destiny moving forward. Gus Malzahn did that a few years ago after he lost and looked terrible against LSU and blew that lead. And he's like, guys, we're fine. We can control it. We control it if we win out. Everybody thought he was crazy, and he did it. Hugh Freeze could do the exact same thing here if they win tomorrow. It changes everything.
Yeah, and the difference that year is at Auburn, if there was a 12-team playoff, would have been in the playoff in 17. Still was what, second or third with 2 losses going into the SEC title game. So yeah, everything is still there to play for in front of you if you win this game. And don't underestimate beating Georgia, how much that would mean too.
And there are matchups here that Auburn can absolutely take advantage of. I know we're going to go more in depth with the defense in a second, but like Keldrick Falk, go prove it. You've done great. Go be that top 10 draft pick on Saturday. Not that you've lived short of any sort of expectations already, but this can be your moment. Malik Blockton, Kieran Crawford. This defensive front is going to have a prime, incredible opportunity to get after Gunnar Stockton and create pressure and to get the defense off of the field or force third and long situations with the revolving door that's happening on Georgia's offensive front. I know the injury reports came out and a few of those guys are questionable. Doesn't matter. They're not at 100%. That is a matchup that Auburn should be able to win and take advantage of. There's got Cam Coleman versus the Georgia DBs, like Eric Singleton versus Georgia's corners. Like there are. This is the first time in a long time since this show has existed where you can look at clear matchups and say Auburn, from a personnel standpoint, should be better than Georgia in this matchup.
And don't underestimate how that would help the secondary as well.
It helps everything.
If you're hurrying up Gunnar Stockton, a healthy secondary now for the first time in a long time. I really have a sneaky suspicion that Kayan Lee and Crawford and Champ Anthony and those guys are going to have a really good game. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean a couple turnovers, a couple picks? We'll see, but I just have a feeling the secondary is going to show out big tomorrow night.
Yeah. I hope you're right. What Auburn's defense, though, to continue this, what they're doing is pretty wild. Well, we got some numbers we're going to go through in just a second. That's next right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Mazda's moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments to do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep the game moving forward. I know we're supposed to look back for this ad read. I'm going to look forward and just say, like, hey, Cam Newton, I think it's safe to say he moved the game when he played. And obviously, I think just his presence at Jordan-Hare Stadium tomorrow is going to move plenty. So I'm going to say Cam Newton. You have any issue with that?
No, I think it's great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
That's going to be he is going to move the needle tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And he is going to be inspirational. And the funny thing is it's at halftime, not before the game. So what if it's a close one-score game at halftime and then this propels Auburn in the second half emotionally?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Alumni Hall. Stop by Alumni Hall for all the folks coming over from Georgia or throughout the state or throughout the Southeast going to the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Stop by Alumni Hall. They've got 3 great physical locations. Of course, one in Huntsville, then the ones in town, Auburn and Opelika. And if you're not doing any of those things, but you still want to support them, head over to alumnihall.com, Darrell. They've got the best selection of Auburn swag you could possibly imagine. They
have the best selection. You can go any place and get adult selection where they really have a niche and where I think they're really unique is the youth and toddler and baby stuff.
Well said.
You can't get that just anywhere, and they have really created a nice little corner of the market of that.
Well said. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So alumnihall.com, or check out any of their physical stores in Huntsville, Auburn, Opelika. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. So the Barn posted this earlier in the week. I'm assuming Taylor Corn made it, highlighting the defense under DJ Durkin. Opponent scoring average versus Auburn. And I know more of you guys listen on audio than watch on YouTube, so I'm gonna read through this real quick and then we'll react to it. Baylor on average scores 36.3 points per game. They scored 24 against Auburn. Ball State scores 16.4 points per game. They scored 3 against Auburn. South Alabama averaging 25 points a game. They scored 15 against Auburn. Oklahoma, 33.8 points per game. They scored 24 against Auburn. Texas A&M, 34.8 points per game. They scored 16 against Auburn. What Auburn's defense is doing, and there are other fan bases that have come in as like, well, A&M almost had 500 yards against Auburn. I'm like, shut up. That's irrelevant. Like, sorry. Like what Auburn's doing from a scoring perspective while they're on the field the whole stinking game is what it feels like. I mean, I don't think you can undersell or oversell. I mean, what DJ Durkin has done is incredible.
I took the liberty of crunching some numbers and throwing out some data for people. First of all, I rounded. I'm old school. You don't score 0.7, 0.8. So I rounded. So let me do this for everybody, because in case they're wondering, that's an average of 13 points a game under what the average opponent scoring. Auburn is slicing off 13 points a game. Okay. So they're scoring 13 less. Georgia, and I've seen it in 2 different places. I Googled it, and AI said they averaged 36 points a game. The Barn put out a graphic that said they averaged 35. So I'm going to go with 35. I'm going to go with the Barn. So let's just say Georgia averages 35 points a game. Auburn has been holding opponents 13 points less than their scoring average. That puts Georgia right at 23 points. Projection. If Auburn can get to 24 points, I think they win this football game. That goes to show you how important these numbers are.
Well, 24 is the number where Auburn is 12-1 under Hugh Freeze when they score 24 points.
23 is the projected number based upon trends and where we are right now. What Georgia has scored year to date and what Auburn has given up year to date less than, as far as what their opponents are averaging.
I mean, first tracks, right?
First of all, 13 less than what you average is significant. I mean, you need to understand that's a giant number.
2 touchdowns. It's crazy.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. So,
I mean, think about how good we would be if we scored 13 more points a game.
You'd be undefeated.
We'd be like the best team in college football. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, this comes down to the offense. And I did a segment earlier in the week, Darrell, where we talked about, like, are we almost assuming that the defense, like, is all the talks about the offense, right? And like what the defense needs to do and continue to do is important, but it's almost assumed. And I don't know entirely how fair that is to them or to Georgia, to be 100% honest with you, but I just trust them at this point. And I know there was some panic, with amongst the fan base after Baylor, after Ball State, after South. It's like, we're fine.
Oh, by the way, who's the leading passer in the country right now?
Is it Sawyer Robertson?
Sawyer Robertson.
He's leading like passing yards,
efficiency, passing. I mean, it's just incredible.
He's great. He's really good.
And I said to people, and I'm walking that back a little bit because Ty Simpson has come on so much that.
Yeah, he's been great.
But I will say this.
Mendoza's been really good.
Yeah. Here's a little caveat. Auburn's offense doesn't need to score 24 points to beat Georgia. What if they score 17 and Auburn gets a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown? I don't care how you get to 24, just get to 24.
Just get there.
They had a kickoff return against Baylor. Auburn has, they had a scoop and score against Oklahoma. Yes, they did. They had a scoop and score against Oklahoma just because it got taken off the board doesn't mean they didn't have one. They, by God, had one. Okay.
Right.
Period.
Yes.
So I would say that they're due one, a pick six, something like that. Now, if that happens, you ain't got to run it up into the 20s offensively. Just get to 17, 20, something like that, 17, 18, and you got a shot. So a lot of different ways. That's why I keep talking myself into
they can do it.
And
they can do this.
And I'm so mad at myself. But again, and this isn't reverse psychology. I've got PT. I just want to see it.
Well, and it's not about the team. The team's talented enough. Are they in proper situations to succeed? That's my question. And so far on the offense, the coaching staff has not put them in situations to win.
Right.
Can you change that after a bye week? We've seen it happen.
What is one of the bugaboos that we've seen the last 2 weeks on the road that people are going crazy about that has to do with the offensive line?
Snap count related stuff?
That ain't going to happen Saturday night. You take that right off the table.
Mm-hmm.
That perceived advantage that Auburn was giving to other teams is gone Saturday night. Look at Chaplin's production at home as opposed to on the road. Look at Auburn's false start penalties. Look what they give up. Because even sacks, if you start late, right, because you're not getting the count, the cadence, and they're beating you to the spot, I'm telling you, that goes out the window Saturday night. That comes off the table.
Great point. Sure.
And, maybe, and then if you run it, by God, more Saturday night, tomorrow night, that also comes off the table. See, all these things keep lining up to me. It's like the constellations, the stars are aligning. I feel like I'm at a planetarium.
And none of them seem crazy.
They don't. This isn't far-fetched.
If Auburn runs it more, I think they'll win. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
There's data that shows that. That's why it's not crazy. There's data that shows Auburn's offensive line plays better at home. There's data that shows they win games when they run the ball more effectively. There's data that shows they're perfect inside the red zone. There are things. We're not just pulling that out of the sky. There is data that shows that. So they got away from that because of who they played and where they played. I'm looking for them to get back to that. And remember, I love Baylor and I love the environment. I loved being out there. It was not Texas A&M and Oklahoma environment. No. So saying that he was on the road against Baylor or the offensive line was on the road against Baylor, I was there. I heard the crowd. It's not the same. Great place, great enthusiasm, great fans, but 40,000 is not 100,000.
Correct.
No matter how much you yell.
Right. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Of course, I'll go live.
I have a feeling I'm going to be wrong, and I hope I am.
I hope so. I hope we're both wrong. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
Programming note, I'll go live after the game. Hey, try to I did a best of thing that dropped Saturday morning last week. We'll do that again. So if you just kind of want to have something up maybe before game day gets going or something like that, we'll have several segments from throughout the week kind of all compiled into one. I'll make it a little longer this week. That was kind of the main request, is for that to be a little longer. So I'll definitely do that. We'll go live right after the game, win or lose. Darrell and I will have a show that drops Sunday morning. Normal time, 3 a.m. on audio, 7 a.m. on YouTube. And then we're off to the races. You and I will go live for the Barncast on Sunday night as well. So we got a lot of content coming up.
We're also going live at halftime. Well, I mean, I jump on live at halftime from the press box on the Barn. Watch
the Barncast. Yep, for sure.
So if we could, it'd be fun. He's got other obligations, but if we could ever get you, me, Kyle, and Brad to do like a game day type thing on YouTube a half hour before the game from the stadium, would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
That would be fun.
Setting up, just having a little roundtable discussion.
That would be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We will see you next time. This has been Locked on Auburn.